All right, welcome to week 3 of the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. This is only the second race of this week. We are in the 1-in-1 bracket, a race between azder versus Magoo. Um, so both runners 1-in-1 in their first 2 weeks. We are playing any percent. Magoo having vetoed RBO, azder having vetoed triple bingo. So we are going to do some any percent today. Um, Runners are all set to go. And time to do some any percent. Azure, the number 7 seed with a 45.05 PB at any percent. Magoo, the 39 seed at 51.15 for his PB. We did see Azure went and did an old route, and it kind of bit him a little bit in his first race, having getting killed by the plasma pirates in the plasma room. So it'll be interesting to see whether he goes old route or new route this time. Magoo, I'm pretty certain is going to do old route, so we'll see. We'll see what these runners have for us. And of course, the any percent always starts out as any other category. Is going to be starting out with Cirrus Station. Not a whole lot to talk about here. Pretty much the same thing you're going to see every time. We will go over to the Ridley fight here, although I don't know if we really call it a fight when we just let him damage us down, because otherwise it would take 100 shots to actually kill him. As you're finishing up his damaging down, and Goo as well. And as you're going to get out with a 45.69 series time, which is very, very good. Goo, let's see if we can get his time. 43.63, not bad. Okay, we're still kind of in the part where things are going to be pretty much the same. We are heading down towards our morph ball. Azure, I know, does not use Moonfall, one of the last holdouts. So we'll see, some would call it the appropriate fall speed. It's a little bit slower. Looks like Magoo is using it. That might gain him a little bit of time here during this fall. This is the main spot where you're going to save time with the Moonfall. Magoo, I was about to say how good the pitless routes were, and Magoo falls down the pit the last second, then runs right past the elevator. It's never a good thing. And of course, picking up that all-important morph ball, the one item. Of course, we need other things too, but I like to think of this as the one item you absolutely have to beat this game. Coming from a pretty big randomizer background, all other items are negotiable. And of course, we pick up these missiles. Okay, as we head back up the elevator. Azder's going to do a wall jump to get up here. I'm not sure what Magoo does in this room. Uh, Done optimally, these are pretty much equal. Of course, they're both now doing wall jumps. The other option being, Magoo switching over to the ledge grabs. Pretty equal, done optimally. Of course, that's always the key word. Both doing a nice job. Magoo having a little bit of trouble, but he'll get up there. As you're getting a little trolled by the parlor portion. And he'll head down to Bomb Chorizo. Magoo not too far behind. Unfortunately, Azure not quite at full energy, so we're gonna have to get lucky on these drops. Hope he gets some missiles, and he does. If you have full on health, those drops will all be missiles. It does make quick work of Bomb Chorizo. Magoo also so far doing a very nice job. And finishes off his Bomb Chorizo fight just fine. Very nice Alcatraz by Azure. We'll see if Magoo can do the same. One of the early speedrunning techniques that you do. The first real major wall jump trick you're going to have to learn. Oh, and Magoo doing a right side wall jump Alcatraz. Very nice. As you're missing the space pirates, usually an indication that you're going to go new route. Of course, he did that last time and fooled us all, so we'll see what he does this time. Magoo damage boosting through the space pirates, an indication that you're going to do old route. The difference being that for new route, because you're going to be fighting Phantoon with no suits and one E-tank, you want to have a little more health going up there. Be a little more conservative with your health in general. Whereas if you're going to do old route, by the time you get to Phantoon, you'll have various suit, you'll have more missiles, you'll have more E-tanks. It's a much safer fight in general. As you're getting that mock ball that allows us to skip Spore Spawn, probably the first real speedrunning tech you learn for Super Metroid, getting this mock ball so you can avoid the long, drawn-out fight of Spore Spawn. Although I don't consider this the most important sequence break. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Both are going to make their way over to Big Pink, where they're going to pick up one more missile pack and charge beam. Alright, as you're going to make his way through the Green Hills zone, Magoo not far behind. And here's where Azure decides, looks like he is going to do new route this time. Which is typically what he does anyway, so it's not really a huge surprise. Having a little bit of trouble getting up. Okay, he gets it up in the second try. Magoo, no surprise, he's heading down. So these routes won't converge again until after we get through Mother Brain 2. There are a few places we can look at to kind of gauge who's ahead. As you're getting an unfortunate D-boost there. right into the Vile Plume. Picks up his power bombs. While Magoo is going to head over to Kraid. Much better leaving. And at 111, it's kind of low health there for Azure, but he's a veteran of these Fantoon fights, so he should be fine. Magoo, on the other hand, going into Kraid, which is a fairly simple fight, especially if you can get yourself a quick kill. Doesn't look like Azure got quite the jump for the CWJ. We'll probably switch over to the horizontal bomb jump as the backup, see if you can get that. Meanwhile, Magoo into his Kraid fight. Gets a very nice quick kill as you're getting across the moat on the second horizontal bomb jump try. Magoo picking up that all-important barrier suit. Very nice move from Azure as he goes across the ocean. Alright, Magoo to make his way out. We'll see if he takes an extra safety here at the Kraid E-Tank. Looks like he is going to take that extra E-Tank. So he might be doing a 4, maybe even a 5-tank run. Okay, a little low on health, but so far so good on Azure's side. Not getting the health drops he would want here. Unfortunately, not in health bomb mode. There we go, that's going to help right there. And I think he missed on that super. Magoo, on the other hand, picking up his E-Tank. Okay, Azure making it interesting, but does get through. Magoo picks up his high jump boots, all important high jump boots. One of a lot of people's favorite items in the game. This makes movement so much easier. Okay, Azure going to make his way up the wrecked ship, while Magoo is going to go ahead and head over to Bubble Mountain. As you're picking up that second super missile pack, usually the last super missile pack you're going to grab in any percent run, whether you're doing old route or new route. Magoo going to make his way over to Bubble Mountain. I always find this area fun because it's always interesting to see what different strats runners use. Since there's not one strat that everybody likes to use. And Magoo just going to do a simple wall jump to get over. As you're at 116 health, is probably going to farm up a little bit before he heads over into bowling. Each spike hit is going to do 60 damage. And he can't take 2 spike hits right now. And looks like he's just going to go in. He's got room for 2 spike hits now. And he's going to have to make sure he gets those. As the 3rd spike hit's going to kill him right now. And he makes it through. He's still gonna have to be careful. 11 energy is not a lot, even with gravity suit. Magoo making his way out of the speed booster area. Looks like he's gonna probably get a farm a little bit, try and get some more supers before moving. Okay, he's just gonna leave with just one super. As you're picking up his gravity suit, Magoo gonna go ahead and pick up this wave beam. This is what I consider the biggest sequence break of the game. The game basically wants you to go get your speed booster by looping around, not even by doing the bubble mountain strats that we typically do. And then you're gonna go all the way up. You're gonna go get your ice beam with that speed booster. You're gonna go all the way up to get your power bombs in Red Tower, and then go back down, kill Crocomar, get your grapple beam, and then you're going to get. That's going to be the intended way to get this wave beam. That's a lot of running around to do. Okay, as you're definitely avoiding those crabs, which really hurt. So good on that. Still very low health. Magoo gonna make his way down to Frog Speedway to get out of Norfair so he can go up and do his wreck ship. As you're farming an extra power bomb. And Magoo heading up the elevator out of Norfair. As you're going to pick up that Spazer beam, because in New Route, you don't pick up Plasma beam. It's too far out of the way and doesn't make a big enough difference by the time you can get it, because you're going to get it after you've killed Ridley already. And typically in New Route, you're going to go down to Ridley at this point. We'll see if Azure does that. Some runners will do what Kip often calls the Captain Picard route, the PKRD, where you do Kraid before Ridley. It's a little bit safer. Doesn't make a huge difference, mostly for the gravity jump going into Lower Norfair. As you're going to go ahead and pre-open the tube here. Also allows you to get an extra E-tank if you want it. But Azur's going to head straight on down and pick up his high jump boots and ice beam, and then head over to Bubble Mountain on his way down to Lower Norfair. A little more optimal to do this for a couple reasons. One, because you're going to have speed booster when you're going over towards Kraid, it makes that a little bit faster. But also, you get a free super refill from Mini Kraid that you wouldn't get if you allows you to do Ridley with more supers and not have to worry about ammo quite as much. Azure picks up that E-tank at high jump boots, and for the first time in quite a while, is not health is not at issue. Meanwhile, Magoo making his way up Red Tower, he gets his power bombs. He'll be able to shine spark across the moat. We'll not have to worry about a CWJ. As you're going to pick up his ice beam. We'll have to use a mock ball to do it because we don't have speed booster yet. Now Magoo, meanwhile, setting up for a shine spark. Going for the ocean fly. Looks like he got it. And he did. Very nice. It's a fairly difficult trick. A lot of runners won't do it because it takes up a lot of health. It takes up more health than just doing a regular 2 shine sparks. Very, very swag. As you're getting looks like he got the ice escape mock ball. Just barely. Perfectly done. And Magoo gonna head into his Fantoon fight. Now Azur's gonna head over to Bubble Mountain so he can get his speed booster and his wave beam. And Magoo in his Fantoon fight. Looks like he's gonna opt for just missiles and Dopplering. Maybe he's setting up for a X Factor. Now he's at low health too. He's a little bit better off than Azure was because he has that Various suit. So he has a little more health to give, but Fantoon is a tough fight at any point. And so he's gonna have to be careful. There we go. Finishes him off. Azure picks up his speed booster. Okay, it's said, I don't know how accurate this is, I've never really had a chance to test it, that the entry into Lower Norfair for New Route should coincide with the picking up of Gravity Suit in Old Route. And so we'll get an idea of where these runners are in terms of who's ahead in just a moment. As you're going to take the wave missiles, an extra safety that you sometimes skip. It's a pretty easy one to not skip. It doesn't save the full 7-second fanfare if you don't grab them, since you have to do a few extra little movement that you wouldn't otherwise do if you try and skip them. So it saves more like about 5 seconds instead of about 7. Magoo making his way into the attic. Nice attic spark, didn't quite kill everything. Has to go back and get this atomic. But Magoo gonna go pick up his gravity suit. As you're heading out through what I call the remembered highway, because it was remembered to be used when we started doing New Route several years ago. In a casual run through, this is actually how you get to Bubble Mountain in reverse. So, fun fact: those rooms are heated when you go through the normal way, but not when you go back the other way. Let's see if Azure can get a plasma spark. Sorry, a lava spark. Looks good so far. It doesn't quite get it. He'll have to switch to a gravity jump. But has no trouble doing that. And it's going to head down the elevator. Magoo, in the meantime, heading through bowling. So Azure probably a little bit ahead as he's entering Lower Norfair. Magoo having not picked up his gravity suit yet. As Azure enters the most dangerous part of the game. And Magoo picks up his gravity suit. Okay, and now worst room in the game, which is called this for a reason, as you're making his way up. Does a very nice job. Falls his way over the space pirate there. Gonna fall through the amphitheater here. Gonna have to be a little careful here. That jump was not so great, but he's now back in sync with what he needs to do. Gets over the last space pirate and gonna head over. Uses a nice bit of speed echoes to get past two of the key hunters there. Magoo heads down Red Tower. He'll head to Meridia next. Looks like Magoo gonna farm up just a little bit before. As using Shine Spark strats to get the Metal Pirates here. Gets them both. Able to farm up to much better health now. Full supers. Looking pretty good. Ghidorah giving Azure a little bit of trouble. This Ridley fight with this beam combination will take 60 shots. Azure will probably supplement with super missiles. Every super missile will do double damage, so it'll be twice the amount of shots. So for every super missile he hits, that's 2 fewer charge shots for him. And he's just going to lay out some regular missiles here. Meanwhile, Magoo wall jumping his way up the aqueduct area, and we'll head over to Batwoon. I like what Azure does here. He uses his ammo when he gets Ridley in the pogo. And Ridley is down for Azure. We'll see if he grabs the E-Tank here. I think that'd probably be a good idea with the at 64 health. Lower Norfair is still a very dangerous place. He could always choose to skip the Batwoon E-Tank later. Meanwhile, Magoo, almost done with Batwoon. And Magoo's definitely going to want to grab the Batwoon E-Tank. This is it's a nice safety to have that 4th E-Tank, but also most runners are going to use Speed Booster to kill Dragon, and you want to have as much energy as you can before that fight. So getting up to 4 E-Tanks and a full 499 health, it's going to be really good for him. Magoo not quite getting his short charges right as he keeps ending up in the sand. You don't actually really have to do short charges here at all. Was probably just trying to save a little bit of distance there in terms of running. Is going to farm up a little bit with these bugs here over in that little sand bit area. I won't call it a sand pit because we have other places that are definitely sand pits. Farms up to 20 and 6. Oh, nope, going to farm up some more. Meanwhile, Azure making his way through the Key Hunter shaft very nicely. It's a very dangerous room. Those Key Hunters do a ton of damage, even with Gravity Suit. And Magoo not getting any kind of halfie. He's going to have to wall jump his way across here. The game intends you to have Grapple Beam to get through this room. But anybody who's done this with Grapple Beam and can do wall jumps knows that it's much easier to just use wall jumps to get through than to use Grapple Beam. All right, Azure gets his way out. Is out of Lower Norfair. Now just needs to go do Meridia behind Magoo. Magoo got into his Dragon fight. Looks like he's going to do the standard start. Going to do some X Factors and some Shine Sparks. Didn't quite get the speed Shine Sparks. Unfortunately, those particles are flying all over the place. The one nice thing about this way of fighting Dragon is, if your X Factors are still going, You can't shoot anything, but you don't have to worry about that for when you're doing Shine Sparks. Going to supplement some missiles in this goo phase, missiles and super missiles. Dragon with 6,000 health, so you would take 20 supers. Super is doing regular damage to Dragon, not half damage, or not double damage. Maisgueuh still having issues. Azure has to go kill Kraid now. The nice thing about doing this now is he's going to get a couple of free super missile refills when he goes past mini Kraid. Also going to save a little bit of time because this room right here, he can just run right through. Not too concerned about picking up those supers on this end. We'll probably pick some up on his way out. Maisgueuh's still on his Dragon fight. Yeah, it looks like he was going to try and fire those missiles, but at 65 health, it's getting pretty precarious here. Azure, meanwhile, gets his quick kill and is going to pick up the Various Suit. We do have to pick up the Various Suit because there is one spot in the game where Vari actually makes a difference, and you can't just have Gravity Suit. As Maisgueuh does finish off Dragon, and we'll pick up my favorite item, the Space Jump. When you get to Mother Brain, the Rainbow Beam will do 3 tanks of damage with Various Suit, but if you have Gravity but no Various Suit, it will do 6 tanks of damage. It is much more out of the way to pick up an extra 3 energy tanks than it is to pick up that Various Suit. Azure going to make his way out of the Kraid lair area, and he'll head over to Meridia. Maisgueuh going to head back this way. We'll be able to space jump across, and we'll make his way to Lower Norfair. Does have to pick up Plasma and Ice Beam first, though. A little low on health here is Maisgueuh, so he's going to have to be careful. It's like Maisgueuh taking his time to farm some extra supers. These CACs have a near 100% drop rate of super missiles, so it's a very good place to do that. And Maisgueuh will space jump his way up towards Plasma Beam. Still has to be a little conscious of his energy. Everything in Meridia hits pretty hard because you're expected to have this Gravity Suit that he has. Should be fine, because he'll be able to farm. I guess those are Puyos, so that little pile of whatever those things are. Can farm those if he wants. Of course, that's also kind of the tutorial for Plasma, because when you come back through, you can just one-shot him. And two-shot him if you have Ice Beam already, but one-shot him in general. Maisgueuh laying a power bomb because the plasma parts on the walls are vulnerable to those power bombs. The ones in the middle are not. But it does save a little bit of time since you don't have to kill quite as many with the plasma beam. As you're making short work of Botwound, we'll see if he takes the extra safety of the Botwound tank. His health looks pretty good, but chain damage is a thing, a very real thing, and he may just want to take that extra safety. But no, he runs right past the E-tank. Gonna farm here instead, it looks like. Doesn't quite farm up to full health. Does have full missiles and 4 supers. Meanwhile, Maisgueuh gets his plasma beam, gets back through. Is going to head over to Lower Norfair now. Maisgueuh making nice work of the sandfall area with that shard to kill the little mini dragons and to get through with that spaceship very quickly. as you're showing his impatience, waiting for Dragon to come, is also going to start off with the X Factor and then into a Shine Spark. That was a much better start than what we saw from Maisgueuh. Still one X Factor particle flying around there. As you're going to switch to ammo a little bit. Ooh, and goops that spark. Yeah, at this point, at 57 health, as you're not going to be using Shine Sparks. Ooh, he's got to get out of this grip. Okay. What you got to do there is you mash your D-pad enough times. I think it's like 100 times, and you'll get out of it. He does manage to get Dragon killed. Little bit low on health, but he does manage to get through it. Is going to grab these drops. Is not going to grab the space jump. Typically, you don't grab space jump in Lower North. But it looks like Maisgueuh did a very nice moonfall through the crumble shaft, which is one of the more difficult rooms to do it. And he's going to take this south route to get to Lower Norfair. Typically, this is the faster route when done optimally. Not necessarily the faster if not done optimally. Now, the other option being to leave the ice beam area with the ice escape and then head over via Frog Speedway. As you're having not gotten any kind of spark suit, is just going to have to wall jump back this way, since he did not grab the space jump. Like we said, you don't grab space jump in a new route typically. Just the places where it's super useful, you're already past most of them, so no point in picking it up now and wasting 2 door transitions at a 7-second fanfare. Maisgueuh going to make his way down towards Lower Norfair, while Azder has quite a bit of a lead now as he makes his way towards Torian, having killed all the G4 bosses. Okay, so as you're going to make his way out this way, if you do this jump right, you can land right on the middle platform here, and he does, and jump right back up and exit Meridia from this direction. Maisgueuh, in the meanwhile, doesn't get fast pillars, so he's just going to use power bombs to get through here. And Azur's going to make his way towards the ship. Probably not going to take a refill here. We'll see. Maisgueuh having trouble with worst room in the game, living up to its name. So he's just going to go ahead and kill the space pirates here. Actually, does end up using kind of a low percent ice strat. Oh, but then he falls back down. That's horrible. By wall jumping off the space pirate, but now he's making his way back up. He's gonna have to be careful of his health now. These runners just don't want to make anything easy. Oh, this is okay. He almost fell into the acid, but recovered very quickly to get out. Thankfully, with that gravity suit, you can move in the acid just like you can move in any kind of liquid. And Azure making his way over to the G4 room and gets to take a little bit of a break as we wait for these statues. Maisgueuh looks like he's going to take an extra safety of this E-tank. I like this call from him. He's down to just over 1 tank of health. So taking this extra safety is going to help him through the Ridley fight. It's going to be an easier fight for him as he has the full beam combo with that plasma beam. But this doesn't make it an easy fight by any stretch. And as you're taking advantage of the fact that if you menu as you go down the elevator, you can save a little bit of time, a few frames, Not sure the exact amount is, but it does allow him to turn his Spazer and his Ice Beam back on from having turned it off for the X Factors in the Dragon fight. Gonna make his way into the first Metroid room. Gotta hope for some drops here. He's pretty low on supers. So he's gonna go ahead and use regular missiles a little bit here. 7 super still not optimal. I'm gonna want to get some more than that. So continues to use missiles, and now he's at 29. 29 is pretty good. Ideally, he'd like to be at 2010. We'll see if he can get to that. Now he's at 2010. 29. Okay, so he'll probably just use missiles on the last set of Metroids just to make sure he gets that last super. Although 29 is definitely enough to finish the game. Okay, and he's got the full 2010. And full health too, so if he can manage to get Baby Skip, that'll be really good. Okay, not quite at full health anymore. Hard to get through the side hopper room with full health. Maisgueuh entering his Ridley fight. This will be a 20-shot fight for him, assuming he doesn't use his ammo. Typically in Old Rot, you don't want to use that ammo. You're not going to get... There's no really good places to farm up your ammo. And if you use all that ammo, you're either going to have to stop the ship or rely on Metroid drop. So typically you'll just see the plasma, the charge beam fight in a new route, in an old route situation. As you're going for the Baby Skip. And gets it. Meanwhile, Maisgueuh finishes up his Ridley fight. We'll see if he picks up this E-Tank. He may not, having picked up the Fireflea's E-Tank. Yeah, he's not going to pick up... he doesn't need a 6th E-Tank. Alright, azder in his Mother Brain 1 fight. Health not ideal. Can't take a catch-up hit. So it'll be a 60-shot fight with his beam combination. Well, Maisgueuh in his escape of Lower Norfair. Okay, Maisgueuh making his way through the red key hunter shaft. Ooh. Those onion rings coming awfully close to azder. And we're in the catch-up phase, which means we'll have 15 shots left. Actually, she'll start the catch-up phase when she's just over 3/4 down of health, so that really it'd be 14 shots at this point. Meanwhile, Maisgueuh making his way through the 3 Musketeers. Both runners getting through very dangerous parts of the run. As azder does finish up Mother Brain 2. And we'll have to wait through this cutscene, because we can't do stand-up glitch when we only have 3 E-Tank. And to a point made earlier when I talked about important sequence breaks, so the fact that we have Zeb Skip, that is also, whether we call it a sequence break or not, it's actually a pretty important part of the game, because it allows the runners to not have to pick up nearly as much ammo. So, you know, we have kind of those 3 points, the wave beam early, the early supers, and the Zeb Skip are those things that are kind of must-haves for a decent time in a any percent speed run. And Maisgueuh, making his way out of Norfair, is going to head over to his Torian. Maisgueuh making his way up through Meridia, and as you're about to be at Mother Brain 3, "36 shocks with this Hyper Beam and Mother Brain will be done." As you're doing a very nice job of not letting Mother Brain fire any shots off. Full health going into the escape. Maisgueuh making his way towards Torian as you're leaving Torian. As you're making his way through the Leodox room. One last Shine Spark. While Maisgueuh waits through his G4 cutscene. And as you're making his way to the ship, get your GGs in chat for azder, finishing up with an official SRL time of 46:47, finishing in first place, and he'll move on to the 2-1 bracket next week. Maisgueuh gonna finish out. Looks like he'll end up at 1 and 2. And joining us is azder. Congratulations, GGs.
Thank you.
I guess my first question is, were you trying to give us all a heart attack a few times? I feel like you were constantly low on health in that run.
That's kind of how any percent goes.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
To be fair, Maisgueuh had his moments too, so it wasn't just you.
Had some issues. They weren't exactly where I expected them to be. I expected to have scares in Lower Norfair, and that was actually really smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lower Norfair was pretty good. The Fantoon fight and you both had pretty harrowing Dragon fights.
Yeah, Dragon didn't give me the patterns that I need. I don't know how to two-spark the fight, so I'm not good at adapting when it doesn't give me the patterns that I need.
Mm-hmm. And that Fantoon fight. Just glad you survived that one.
Fantoon is fast, and I wasn't ready for it in the second round, so I didn't do the manipulation properly. It could have been a really fast fight if I had gotten a good amount of missiles in the second Doppler, but I didn't, and then yeah, the rest of the fight was I entered the fight in what Cordy likes to call no man's land, which is you are at a health that is you're at a health value that is multiples of 40 away from being between 30 and 40, where you'll die from one hit, but you aren't in a health bomb.
Yep.
And so I ended up in that after the second round, I think, and that was just put me in a really bad spot.
Yep. Yeah, I believe, yeah, you were in that 30 some odd range that just, you know, just Pantoon just wants to drop missiles and we want health, and but you managed to pick up some health and managed to get through it. Maisgueuh, meanwhile, heading towards his Zep skip. Looks like he was trying for a speed booster Zep skip, but switched over to the standard ice skip. Okay, gets through. Okay, so that's going to put you at 2-1. Of course, we have no idea who you're going to be playing next, but how do you like your chances at this point now that you've managed to pick up a win?
Yeah, finally got a win after 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you know, your opponent ended up forfeiting last week, so good to finish a run.
Yeah, it does. I didn't expect to finish this one either, to be honest, just because like I feel like that's how it goes for me.
Yeah, and of course, this week having been RBO and triple bingo, and Maisgueuh having immediately said, "I'm not playing RBO." Had he vetoed any percent or triple bingo, I mean, had he gone a different direction, would you have gone for the RBO or the triple bingo? You're not sure. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's... I don't know, there's so many ways that you can lose matches, like any category, and it's kind of weighing which one you're least likely to drop the game in. Like, it's, I don't know, I feel like I'm thinking that way as like the higher seed or the person with the better PBs or whatever is like, well, how many ways can I throw this away?
Yep.
And bingo, you could get unlucky. Or not unlucky, but like you could make a big mistake with like picking up charge or something, or you could just not see a better option.
Yeah, and of course RBO is RBO. So
yeah, at least with RBO, like I would have felt better about taking saves. So what happens in RBO, I might have been better off there than any percent, but I'm not sure.
And of course, next week we'll be introducing low ice, 100%, and GT Classic reappear. How do you feel about about those categories?
I feel like that week probably has the least minefields for me. So for I mean, okay, GT Classic is like a notorious minefield for me, but I'm trying to be less dumb about the things that can go wrong there.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why a lot of runners will take that save before the lava dive, and why they'll take that save before the green gate glitch. So,
yeah, it's volatile though, because like you can play really well for the rest of it, but you could always just have a bad day on the green gate glitch and like take so many tries at it that like it doesn't really matter how good you are.
Yep. Yeah, I always talk about that green gate glitch being that strat that just will leave even the best runners every once in a while. It's just that inconsistent strat. You just can't exploit it. Meanwhile, Maisgueuh's making his way through the escape. So let's watch him finish up. Almost falling back down the climb. That never feels good. And Maisgueuh is going to finish up with an official SRL time of 55:01. So GG's to Maisgueuh. We'll see if he'll join us. Looks like he is going to join us. And GG
Hello.
Maisgueuh. Hey,
Hey,
how you
thank
doing?
you, GG azder. And thank you, Tracy, for nice comments, as always.
Yeah, I was telling Azure how he almost gave me a heart attack, but you had your fair share of moments too, especially with your Dragon fight.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
I can't say I blame you.
Can talk about Maridia for so long. What happened? Maybe I was not in my top of my form, I guess, tonight. I wasn't able to do a short charge. So, yeah. Sad run, really sad run. But 55, it's alright.
Yeah, it's not bad, you know. Yeah.
I said before to race, okay, I'm gonna lose 9 minutes late, so I'm not that far from reality.
Yeah, it's not so bad. You did good. I mean, you know, old route versus new route, of course, being a thing, but all things considered, I think you showed very well. So you'll be moving on to the 1 and 2. So how are you feeling about moving on next week?
Yeah, I don't know what category it's gonna be on the next week. I have to check.
Yeah,
this.
so it's low percent ice, GT Classic, and Hundo.
All right, so I might practice undo and GT, I guess. I'm not prepared for low percent.
Yeah,
So
and
sad,
obviously not prepared for RBO either, because you were very quick to say I'm not doing RBO.
Was Asda was okay for RBO? I was wondering about that because I should maybe veto on any percent and maybe have a triple bingo, so I have more fun, more challenge.
Yeah, make him. Yeah, well then, you're chancing that he won't veto RBO. So I don't know what the best strategy is there.
Yeah,
It's not really for me to give advice anyway, since yeah.
It's a difficult gamble.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Anything else either one of you want to add before we close this out?
I see Polar Bear Bunny, but I will race against her tomorrow.
Oh, right, in the SM route. Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you and to Bunny.
Thank you. Otherwise, is there any race next?
Yeah, actually, I was about to go through that. We'll let Azure have a last word if he wants one before I do that. We have quite a few races coming up tonight.
Cool. So, nothing else to add.
All right, Azure, you got anything else to say before we close this out? Hearing nothing. Okay, I'll go through the schedule now. So we have 2 races at 8 o'clock. On SpeedGaming 2, we have Crocomire versus Maniacal. And on SpeedGaming 6, we have Mass Hysteria versus French Lightning John. And fun fact, I'm pretty certain Maniacal doesn't want to run any percent, so expect a not any percent at 8 o'clock on SpeedGaming 2. No idea what Mass Hysteria and French Lightning John are looking at, but I did see John practicing some RBO yesterday, so we'll be interested to see what they choose. And then at 9:30, we also have Lomi and Jones versus 64-bit Link. That'll do it for today. We do actually have matches starting at 1 o'clock tomorrow, starting with Sloaters versus Enmet, and going on I do want to highlight one match in particular. At 8 o'clock, we have Kip versus Galamaz, two absolute top runners in any category you want to throw at them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that one, and I will definitely be watching that one. So really looking forward to that one, and just keep an eye on the schedule because we have a whole lot of matches coming up this week. Since these only the first two, so a whole lot of Super Metroid yet to be played. All right, so that'll do it for us. So we'll see you in a couple hours. Oh, I guess it's only in 1 hour. We'll see you at 8 o'clock for a couple races, and make sure you do tune in then.